Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Josh Peak. Today is the 21st of October, 2020. And this is a little different podcast than I've done up to now. I had an accident about a week ago on Tuesday. I was doing some projects around the house. I've talked on here at length before about doing some work up in my attic, getting it sprayed with expanding foam insulation and building a door that goes through a closet to have like more access space. I then have rearranged some wiring so that my switches are near the door when you walk in. I've also changed over the old access door on the side of the room, side of the garage, is now um, a space for hanging clothes. I put up a barrier wall up on the backside. I got videos on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. I put up a barrier wall and installed a curtain rod that's about 8 feet long with some support um, clamps. I actually used old radiator hose clamps to hold the thing, and it holds it at just the right length with enough strength to hold up any amount of weight of clothes for that pole. It doesn't take up much space. It's very functional. Um, but I did all that, and then we had other projects to do. So after that was done, we went downstairs, and someone had given us a backboard, not a backboard, a headboard for a bed, and our spare bedroom over here had a shorter headboard that my wife wasn't crazy about, and she really wanted this new one up there, and so we got it, and I had to drill new holes for the bolts to fit through the frame. Got that done. We put it up there. There was a mirror that sat above the bed before. We pulled that mirror down and had a picture that was in our attic that was going to fit there. And I said, "Hey, why don't I grab that picture? I mean, I'm sure it would look good there, but I don't know, if we have like a purpose for it, or if there's some other reason that it's there." And my wife was like, "Well, let's get it and let me clean it up." And I brought it in and I said, "Well, let me put some hardware on the back here so we can hang it first and then clean it up. That way we're not cleaning it up twice." She's like, "Okay." Now I've hung up a bunch of pictures in the past, and that stuff's been pretty simple in the past. Um, Most picture frames on the back have usually two posts that have some kind of hardware on it. If you guys have ever tried to hang one of those, it's really hard. I know what their idea was is, oh, this will be simple. People can just hammer a nail in the wall and hang it up. Well, that works great if you've got like solid walls and you can hang a nail anywhere and it hangs. But a lot of folks, you have to count on the fact that the picture is probably going to be of some kind of weight. And if you hammer through just regular drywall, or if you have like, a mobile home with paneling wood up, you're not going to have anything steady behind there that's going to hold that picture up. So, for us, we've learned over time that it's better if we hang it on a stud somewhere in the middle and use like a wire. So I just happen to have some wire that's like a baling wire that I inherited from my granddaddy Peak, and it's really good, durable wire. It bends really nice. It when you form it into a curved piece and tighten it down, it doesn't move. I mean, we've got tons of things hung around this house with that wire, and it's worked out great in the past. And I still stand by the fact that this is the best stuff to hang a picture with. Um, we got that wire, and I got that wire down, um, measured it out at length at what I needed, and cut the wire. And when I did, the wire came back and poked in my eye, and it stayed there. And I actually had to pull it out because I danced around for a while, going ow, 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 and then I realized it was still in my eye, and I had to pull it out, and it did some damage. Now the good news is, um, I've had two surgeries, and I am getting my vision back. It is a process, though. Right now, I'm waiting for the second surgery to heal. They've talked about doing a lens replacement. Right now, I don't have a lens in that eye. Everything I see, I can see, but it's really blurry right now. The retina is still repairing. They had to clean out a cataract that had formed on the inside, and so I'm waiting for that to heal. I had an appointment on Monday, and it was with a different doctor. And basically, he just looked at it and was just making sure that the pressure wasn't too high, and asking about if I was just, any kind of discomfort or whatever. And I think he was looking to see also if the stitches from the first surgery had come out. The first surgery was just to close the globe because I had a puncture in the globe, and my eye was leaking out a gel of sorts. Um, and so, the first surgery, they came and they looked, and I guess the stitches looked fine. I did notice that as I was as I tend to look around with my good eye, my bad eye wants to do whatever my good eye is doing because it follows it, trying to focus on things. And if I keep both of them closed, then it doesn't make the other one try to work. And my brain tries to fix the images that I see. So like I can open my bad eye and I can look, but if I do, like I can see the computer, I can see I'm on a screen, but I can't really tell what I'm doing on the screen. It's very, very blurry. And every time I do that, it makes my eyes water. So I'm using tissues to try and keep it from draining really ridiculously. And of course, you can hear in my voice that my sinuses are kind of messed up because of it too. It Some of that is actual sinuses that are going on. Some of it is drainage from this stuff from my eye. Hang on a second. I apologize. It's not the first time I've blown my nose on this podcast. Probably won't be the last. But I hope you guys understand. There's nothing malicious involved here. I know some people have the ASMR tactical issues of sound, probably freaking out right now. It's okay. It'll be fine. So moving forward, I got an appointment tomorrow with the doctor. The appointment tomorrow is with the doctor who did the surgery on the second time with he stitched the retina, cleaned up the cornea, cleaned out the cataract, I should say, and removed the lens. Um, I'm curious to hear what he's going to say. I don't have a timetable yet on a lot of things that I wish I knew, but right now it's just healing, just getting better. Um, I do have the fan on in here this morning because it's a little hot in here. I think partially because I just finished a cup of coffee. If you guys hear a little extra wind in the background, that's the ceiling fan. Um, so anyway, this is the Stuff I Heard podcast. So let's talk about some stuff I heard. I did get to watch with both eyes Bert Kreischer's The Cabin on Netflix, and I talked about it coming up, and I was anticipating it coming up, and I got to watch it, and it was really funny. It was only 5 episodes. He had more episodes, but he had to remove some because of some friends getting called out for things they had done in public, some public shaming type things that have happened with their actions. So I don't know what comedians had to be taken down. I'm assuming that one of them had to be Chris D'Elia because I know that Whitney Cummings apparently did one, and since they were on the Whitney show together, they probably had an episode and they probably had to pull it. He probably had one with Ari Shafir, and Ari, of course, is a problem all in himself, and they probably had to pull that. I'm just assuming. I don't know. This is my speculation. The ones that are up there are really good. A lot of folks are getting introduced to Miss Pat for the first time. I got introduced to Miss Pat on the Bob and Tom show. She's out of Indianapolis. Really funny comedian, really honest comedian, has had a very interesting life. She has a book out called Rabbit. Um, Very colorful, comedic lady who's hilarious. She has an episode on there with Joe McHale and Katie Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory. They have a funny interaction between them. A lot of folks don't know that Bert knows Joe McHale really well. They actually hosted shows around the same time. They used to go out for things oftentimes at the same time, and they've done comedy together for years. I don't know what projects Bert's done with Katie Cuoco, but I have heard him mention that they've done some things in the past, like some pilot stuff that just never took off. But they are friends. So everybody that he's done episodes with, he's friends with. I think the first episode he does is with Tom Segura and Joey Diaz, and it's hilarious. I mean, it's everything you'd expect from those guys. Um, there's lots of good episodes. There's lots of things you wouldn't expect. The Bobby Lee, Donnell Rawlings one is pretty funny. A lot of honesty in between the uncomfortable jokes. There's a lot of moments where Bert's literally trying to tell everyone, hey, this is what it's like to be me. This is what I'm up against. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm faced with. This is the obstacles. This is the part where I'm trying to make other people laugh. I'm trying to find out what's funny. I'm also trying to fix me because listen, I realize that I have problems and we all have problems, In his intro, there's a very fast-paced intro where he says, here's my normal day. And he runs down a gamut of things that is crazy by most people's standards. It would be something that would be a highlight of most people's single day. And yet, this is the kind of stuff that he deals with on a daily basis, and it is overwhelming. It was even more so when he was a host of a travel show where they would do bucket list things, several in a day, um, and it would basically fry his normalcy. It would ratify the things that he felt that most people would feel are tolerable within a lifetime. And he would have multiple of these a day because he's trying to film a show. And they're like, we got a budget. We got to fit it in this time. Here, we're going to fly to the top of this mountain. You're going to ski down it. Now we're going to go do this. Now we're going to do that. Now we're going to jump off this thing. Now we're going to, and it becomes a lot. And I think all of us are guilty of that in a sense. I remember talking to my mom one time about the fact that I felt like I was running downhill with my hair on fire. And she said, that's mortality. That's what it's like when you realize I have the tools that I need and I want to get these things done, but I have a limited time on this world left to do it. So I want to do as much as I can, as quickly as I can to get it out there because once this is it, then I don't have any other opportunities. And that's kind of how I feel about this podcast. Um, I knew I needed to do an episode. I was not in the position to do one after the injury. This past Saturday, I basically just laid around and tried to heal. I didn't do much. I really thought about coming in here and turning the camera on and looking into the camera with my bad eye and be like, look at it, eat it up, suck it. This is what it's like, man. This is real life, man. Doing one of those apocalypse now kind of dialogues of, we're going to ride this thing all the way to the eyeball, man. But I knew that wasn't right. I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do overall. I was still hopeful that I could regain vision. Now, I did know by Saturday that I could see because I had an appointment on Friday and the lady took the bandage off and I was able to see for the first time. And I was emotional. I cried. I basically wept and hugged my wife and I was like, I can see again. I didn't think I could be able to see again. And that was a real fear. Um, I was optimistic, but I really, the moment that wire went in my eye, I knew that I had done something that was going to change my life forever. Um, and so it's been a learning process. Today is Wednesday, and I don't have a schedule for a podcast right now. I don't have a schedule for anything right now. Um, I think it's safe to say that I'm pretty open to anything. If anybody wants to podcast together, I'd be willing to do that. We can talk about anything. I am watching some things. I am listening to some things. There's a really great show I want to talk about that's on Disney Plus. Um, I guess they own the Smithsonian Channel, which is part of their umbrella of Disney Plus. And I saw it advertised on the Fire Stick whenever I turned it on. It said the right stuff, and I like things about early space travel and the idea of new exploration and these guys who were bigger than life pilots who just wanted to push themselves and to be the first and to be the one who was able to conquer whatever crazy thing it was that needed to be done. And the idea of space exploration for them meant immortality. It meant that people were going to know their names forever. I mean, and there's a reason we know their names now. I mean, Buzz Aldrin, um, Glenn Shepard, all these, amazing astronauts, Neil Armstrong, we know their names because they accomplished something that nobody ever did. And it's awe inspiring. It taps into that thing in our own subconscious of, yeah, I would like to be the first to dot dot dot, whatever that thing is. I mean, and for us, reaching to the stars has been a dream for a long time. And so this story is done really well. There's only 3 episodes up right now. They appear to put one up every week. Um, I watched the first 3 episodes. My wife and I did in one night, and it was really fantastic. It's called The Right Stuff. Um, my wife immediately recognized one of the guys, and she Googled him. He was the actor that played the main character on Limitless on the TV show, which I loved the TV show. I thought the TV show Limitless was even better than the movie. If you haven't seen that show, it's on Netflix also. It's like 26 episodes. It's really good. Um, but The Right Stuff is really good. I'm enjoying it. The guys are, struggling with their own personal human flaws and their own battles with trying to accomplish something that very few people on Earth would ever get the opportunity to do, and they're competing with each other, and it's pretty amazing. So check out The Right Stuff on Disney Plus, wherever you can get a hold of it, if you have access. Otherwise, let's see what else. I also watched a neat little show on Netflix. It's an animated show. My brother told me about it. I saw it advertised, but I really didn't pay much attention to it. But he's like, you got to check out this cartoon. It's really cute. Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous. Um, Very cute little show. It's real short episodes. It's like 10 episodes long, I believe. Each one is like 20 something minutes long. Um, it's done really well. It's the actors in it. I recognize one of the actors is the boy from the Goldbergs TV show, which my wife Googled, and I didn't realize he was already 21 years old. His voice sounds like he's still a little boy, but the show is good. The show is done well. To me, this is a slam dunk opportunity for the Jurassic Park franchise. Michael Crichton, of course, wrote Jurassic Park years ago. I've read that. I've read several of his Jurassic books, and he is a phenomenal writer. I struggle with dyslexia a lot of times when I read, and there's a way that he writes that doesn't it doesn't make my brain work backwards and forwards several times in a sentence. Like I can read his books very rapidly. I don't know what it is that he does. Maybe it's the typeset, maybe it's how he writes, but I have read probably more books by him than anybody else over the years. Most of them I read when I was in the military, but basically anything I could get a hold of by Michael Crichton, I read. And these Jurassic books are fantastic, and the movies are done really well too. But there's a lot of hurdles when you're trying to make something look real in real life, versus in a cartoon. In a cartoon, you just have free reign to draw whatever you want, and it makes the storytelling a lot easier, in my opinion. And listen, they knock it out of the park with this. I know it was catered for for young kids to watch. My wife and I are adults. We watched it by ourselves. We fully enjoyed it. Um, my brother said that he watched it with his 4-year-old son, and they really enjoyed it. There are some intense moments. I don't know that a 4-year-old is probably the path I'd want to watch it with, but maybe 4 or 5, somewhere in that range. As long as you can sit with them and talk to them about, this is just a show. This is just cartoons. There's nothing bloody or gory, but there's assumed that a dinosaur eats a person once or twice. And that's kind of scary. There's also the thing about the dinosaur does come after them, and it makes it intense. But listen, as a show, it's good, and I look forward to watching more of them. They really did a good job of this one. What else? I watched a few things that are pretty good. We've been watching old episodes of Leave It to Beaver and I Love Lucy and I Dream of Jeannie and Big Bang Theory and all this stuff. Thanks to my buddy's help with his Fire Stick, I've been able to watch these without a commercial, which has been super awesome. I've watched a lot of football too. The Gamecocks won this past week. That was pretty big. They apparently haven't beaten Auburn since 1933. I had no idea that was such an awful statistic, but they won. So yay, I guess. It's kind of a weird statistic. I think that all sports this year should come with an asterisk, and it says during COVID, because there's just a weird dynamic to everything that we're watching as far as competitive sports. Um, Congratulations to the Lakers for winning their championship. Um, People keep trying to compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan and to Kobe Bryant and all these guys, and I don't think that there's a comparison. I think that he should be in his own separate category of players who've done fantastic things. I mean, winning a championship with a third team is amazing. Being in the championship for however many, was it 10 years or something like that, 11 years, whatever it is, it's phenomenal. No, he didn't win all of them like Jordan did, but I mean, it's pretty incredible. And I wish people would stop trying to compare the two guys because they're not the same guys. Just give him his props and say, this is when he came to the league, everybody called him the king. Just keep calling him the king. I mean, what's wrong with that? It's not like an actual title. It's not like he's a monarch. I mean, but he's the king. We could just give him the title, the king. I mean, he called Kobe Bryant the Black Mamba or Mamba or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's just a name. Jordan was his airness. Okay, so that sounds fine. Whatever. Um, Good for them. The Tampa Bay something or other, was it Tampa Bay Lightning won the hockey championship? Right now, Tampa Bay's baseball team, the Rays, are in the World Series with the Dodgers. That's pretty big. Um, lots of interesting things going on with sports. If you're into sports right now, you're probably really happy you're able to watch it. I'm happy I'm able to watch it, even if it's with one good eye. Um, lots of stuff happening. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I know I've only been talking for about 21 minutes, but yeah, I can feel my sinuses going, and I'm gonna have to blow my nose again. And I'd rather not do that on the air. But thank you to everybody who's been sending well wishes, and thank you to everybody who's volunteered to cut grass and all this other stuff. My wife's been a super champion. She's really come through and helped me out a lot. Matter of fact, she cut the grass yesterday. She tells me it looks great. I haven't really looked at it. It's kind of the running joke. Uh, but but yeah, she's been cutting grass pretty much all summer ever since she got laid off with COVID. She's still looking for a job. If anybody out there is hiring, she's very employable. Just continue to pray for us. Continue to pray for healing. I do feel like I'm getting better every day. I could tell like some of the stitches have dissolved. I was able to open my eyes yesterday for an extended period of time and look around the room. I couldn't really see anything, but it was nice to not have to squint with that eye. So it's getting there, and we'll do more of these. So thank you to everybody again. I appreciate it. And as always, cue the cow.
To give me more likes. Give